Really hope I'm in frame for this. Anyways, what's good, guys? Today's video is going to be about how I just left the gym, so it's a little on the nose, but it's about how the gym helps you and prepares you for business and life in general. And I'm going to try to make it really simple. I don't know if this is going to be a long video, but I wanted to get something out today and be consistent with actually uploading these videos because I keep saying that I'm going to do it and then, fall into the trap of overthinking things and then not following through and not posting. So honestly, that pretty much ties into exactly what I want to talk about, and it's how the gym helps first and foremost with consistency. It's a Sunday and technically it's a Sabbath. It's supposed to be a day of rest and everything, but I don't even think about the gym like work. It's more prepping me for the week, getting me into a mindset, and on top of that, it's helps me to get some really good sleep tonight, especially pushing yourself really hard, and just basically like pass out tonight, let my body recover, sleep really well, and start Monday like refreshed and ready to go. But more so than that, it's a little bit deeper. It's two things I want to talk about. And I mean, you've probably heard these 1,000 times, but I want to give my own little spin on it. That's consistency and discipline. So which one should I start with? Maybe discipline, because I feel like that's the one that comes first. Maybe not for everybody, but the discipline is what comes first, because you have to have discipline to get the consistency. So I started working out when I was 15. I'm 30 now, so it's been a decade and a half that I've been working out. When I was 15, my dad started taking me, right? And that was my discipline. I wasn't going Monday through Friday like I do now, and sometimes Sunday. But when I did when I did go, it was my dad that was pushing me and giving me kind of that external discipline to push myself. And he taught me everything I needed to know to get started in the gym. And then it wasn't until I was probably 18, I think, went through my first bad breakup, and I was kind of like back on my own, resetting, trying to figure out like, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, I'm 18, what are we gonna do? And since then, I got into the gym, and at first it took discipline. It took a lot of discipline, and because at that point, I think I was about 135 pounds soaking wet. And within, I want to say like 6 months, I bumped up to like 185. Newbie gains, dirty bulking, all that stuff. And since then, the gym has become my foundation. I've noticed in life that whenever I start losing my consistency in the gym, I start, it's fine to miss a day, right? It's even fine to miss 2 days, but missing 2 days in a row, more often than not, ends up being 3 days in a row, and then a week. And then by the time you know it, you're out of your rhythm. And that's the biggest thing. And that's clicking with another thing. Something that my dad said about the gym that I will never, ever forget. And it's part of, like, on days where I'm like, man, I really don't want to go. I just want to rest. I want to recover. I want to eat pizza or whatever. I always hear my dad saying this, and it'll never go away. So thanks, Bubba, if you're watching this. And to anybody else, I hope this sticks with you. But he always told me, well, he didn't always tell me. He told me like once, but it got cemented in my head. He said, the hardest part about going to the gym is getting there. Because once you get there, it's easy. You're like, man, I drove all this way. Maybe you made your pre-workout, you got dressed, all that stuff. You did the hard part. Now it's just time to work out. That's the fun part, especially once you get into a rhythm and it becomes a lifestyle for you. The working out part is fun. You get a pump and all that. But he said that, and I'll never forget it. The hardest part about going to the gym is getting to the gym. And if you can just do that, that's really all you need for discipline. Like, even if you just go to the gym and your heart's not in it, and you just do, I mean, I'm not saying to like half-ass your workouts and stuff, but at the end of the day, something is better than nothing. And the fact that you are able to get up and go to the gym and get there and do something, that is discipline. It might not be consistency yet, but that's discipline, to say, I don't want to do this. I don't feel like doing this. I'd rather be doing X, Y, and Z instead, but I know I should be doing this, so I'm going to do it. Just get that hard part. My dad never taught me this, but sorry, I had an alarm like go off on me. That's fun. I got to remember to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Anyways, my dad never said this to me, but I've had some people in the past ask me, like, kind of like the same thing. Like, how do you get into that consistency? How do I get myself to go when I don't want to go? And honestly, my answer, I think I told this to my sister about her boyfriend the other day. I said, see this thing right here? I fill this up with a scoop of pre-workout, and then you're sitting there with it in your hand, and you're saying to myself, should I go to the gym or shouldn't? Before you even have time to think about it, chug that pre-workout. Chug it. And then once it's in your system, then you can decide whether or not you want to go. If at that point you decide, hey, I really don't want to go to the gym, then don't. But I promise you, you're going to be tweaking on the couch with a whole bunch of caffeine. Make sure you get the stimulated pre-workout. But if you can chug the whole thing of pre-workout and then not be driven to go to the gym, I mean, that's a hack right there. That hack right there could be worth $1,000, $5,000 right there. So try that next time you're thinking, like, should I go to the gym or not? Just chug the pre-workout, then it's too late to turn back, you know? That at least gets you to the gym. And then once you're at the gym, that's the fun part. That's the easy part. So back to it. That's how you get that discipline. Discipline is forced, honestly. Another example of that is when I went from 135 to 185. My stomach had to have been like this small, right? I it's not that I hated eating, but I wasn't eating enough to put on weight, you know, and that's why I was like a string bean. I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to eat more, and working out alone wasn't going to cut it. So I had to force feed myself, honestly. I remember I used to have breakfasts that were 1,400 calories, just my breakfast. I'm talking like 4 or 5 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, 2 pieces of sausage, a bagel with cream cheese, a glass of orange juice, and then a bowl of cereal with like protein shake milk. There might have been more. I don't know if that adds up to 1,300 calories, but it was a lot. And that was just my breakfast. And again, it wasn't enjoyable, honestly. It sounds probably enjoyable because it's a lot of good food, but at first it was painful. Like when I say that I had to force feed myself, I had to force feed myself. But that's what I'm saying. The discipline part of it is usually forced. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to force you or somebody else, like my dad was for me. He never really forced me. Luckily, I like enjoyed it and I always wanted to go with him. But even if it's an external force, whatever it is, it could be internal willpower, it could be an external force. That discipline has to come from somewhere, and it's going to have to force you to get out of your comfort zone and do something new, put your body through something new or your mind through something new. And it's the same thing that translates directly to business and life. If you don't like where you're at working your job or the way that your business is performing right now, I know for me, one of my businesses, I do eBay, and it's not performing for me how I like right now. And I'm forced to do, it's hard to explain, but like I've been doing eBay for I think 4 or 5 years now, and I have all my systems in place, right? And I'm comfortable with that, and it's autonomous, and it's very easy. Like for me now, it's almost a mindless task to do everything I need to do for eBay. But now that the economy is changing, the game is changing on eBay, I have to switch up. I have to get back to learning what's new, what people are looking for, and get out of my comfort zone. So it takes more mental power. And that's the same, you know, it's the same thing. It's forcing that discipline and that uncomfortableness. And it's the same thing with life. Maybe you're in a relationship that doesn't make you happy, or you're alone and that doesn't make you happy. Sometimes you just, even if you don't know what to do, just do something. Try something and then pivot. It's just like with this YouTube video. I'm sure if you've watching this video, you probably didn't watch my first one, but I talked briefly on how these past 4 weeks I've pivoted 3 times on how I want to take this YouTube channel, like which direction I wanted to. And I could have sat there for those 4 weeks and been like, I'm just going to think about it. I'm going to get analysis paralysis, and I'm going to figure out exactly what I want to do and then get the perfect idea before I even put anything out. But honestly, no, like the past 4 weeks, I've been putting out stuff. And some of the first video I put out has nothing to do with how I'm going to take this channel now. But I'm glad that I put that out there because it allowed me to reflect and be like, is this something I really want to do, or do I need to pivot? It's the same thing. Say you're lonely. Then you have to take inventory of where you're at. This is how I look at it. If you're unhappy with where you're at in life, or in your business, or your fitness journey, or your relationship, or anything, you have to take inventory of where you're at now. Like, if you have to, close your eyes and imagine this. Take inventory of where you're at now. Then think about where you want to go. Seriously, like, sit there and envision what needs to change. Not even that part yet. Not that part yet. What would be different if I could wave a magic wand right now? What would need to be different for me to not feel bad or frustrated with my situation right now? So you have where you're at and where you want to go. Now it's about building this bridge, right? And building a bridge is not an easy task. Not that I've ever done it, but I would assume it's not an easy task, and it takes a lot of tools and resources and knowledge. And that's in a nutshell all that you have to do. You have to say, what tools and resources and knowledge do I need to gain or acquire? Same different synonyms, whatever, synonyms. What tools or resources or knowledge do I need to acquire to build that bridge from where I'm at to where I want to go? That's step one. And the thing is, a lot of people are good at that part. They're good at daydreaming, coming up with ideas. And unfortunately, a lot of people stop there. They're like, man, if I could just do X, Y, Z, then I could get to where I want to go. But then they never get up and do X, Y, Z, and that's where discipline comes into place. And see, it's all coming full circle. I am getting to a point. You get that discipline, figure out what you need to do to build that bridge, and then you go out, you get uncomfortable for however long it takes, and you're going to have to pivot. I'm not even going to say you might have to pivot, because that's not true. You will have to pivot. You're going to get that first plank in your bridge built, and you're going to be like, man, fuck, this is off 90 degrees. I need to adjust. And you're going to pivot, and you're going to start over, and you're going to go. But eventually, and this is exactly where consistency comes in. Eventually, you're going to get to that 4th, 5th, 6th, 15th board, and you're going to be like, this is nothing, man. You're going to look and you're going to be like, man, I got half a bridge now. I only got half to go. I'm getting there, and it's still going to be a long half. I'm not going to say, I am saying that it gets easier. So back to the metaphor of the gym. You get this discipline. You force yourself for, 6 months it took me to go from 135 to 185. After those 6 months, man, I was addicted. It became a lifestyle. I was like, it becomes part of your identity. I'm a gym guy. I go to the gym. At that point, it was Monday through Friday. I do a bro split, whatever it is. It becomes part of your identity because of that consistency. And the consistency only comes, from discipline. And the discipline is forced. And that's pretty much it, man. I hope that makes sense. I hope I made sense and didn't ramble on too much, but that's all it is. Figure out where you're at, where you want to go, and what it's going to take to bridge that gap between those two places. Because it's possible. I know for me at least. I don't know about, I'm sure there's people that had not as good parents. I mean, I love my parents to death, but they always, I hear a lot of parents say, you can, when you grow up, you can be whatever you want. To a certain extent, that's true, because especially now, man, because there's so many people that are just consumers. They just consume and consume and consume. And this is why I got to the YouTube thing, is because I realized at one point, I think I got like a screen time notification or whatever, or I saw my buddies or something like that. And I just remember thinking, like, scrolling Instagram or TikTok or whatever all day, just consuming. But there has to be a flip side to that. There has to be somebody that's producing that. Like, say 95% of the people are constantly consuming content. You don't want to be part of the 95%, do you? You want to be part of the 1%. So you got to be part of the 1% that's providing that content. And I don't even know where I was going with that point, but you get what I'm saying. Build that discipline. Figure out where you want to go, because it is possible. Especially now, because there's less competition. There's people that don't realize this and never will realize that all it takes is to be in this state of forced uncomfortableness. And once you do that long enough, it becomes part of your identity and becomes naturally consistent, and you just are what you do. Right now, this is uncomfortable for me to be recording this video, right? I'm sitting in my car in a parking lot outside the gym. I don't know if people are watching me. I don't care at this point, but now and then I have to upload it. And I have to, again, I doubt a lot of people, if any, are going to see this video, but on the off chance they do, that's kind of awkward, and it's new and it's uncomfortable. But then give it 6 months, man. I will just be a content creator. It'll just become part of what I do. Every day I create content, I put it up. That's just part of what I do. And you'll reap the benefits, man. If you would have told me when I was 15 that, like, yo, if you work out for 15 years, you're gonna look good, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. As humble as possible, I look good. I love my body, and I worked hard for it. I would have been like, nah, fuck you, bro. I'm a string bean. This is just how I am. But it worked, man. Discipline and consistency. And that starts, at least for me, with the gym. If you're not working out, go give it a try, man. It lays the foundation for everything for me. If I'm not going to the gym, I don't sleep well, I don't eat how I should, I don't have the energy or the endorphins that I should, I don't get the testosterone boost, whatever it is. But that's how people around me know if something's wrong. If I'm not going to the gym on a consistent basis, they know that something is about to pop off. Try it, man. Or find your foundation, whatever it is. Stay consistent with it. Do it. Get disciplined. Get consistent. And see, this just clicked in my head. I've been sitting here this whole time for these 4 weeks thinking, like, man, if I do this YouTube, it could or it couldn't pay off. Who knows? But the thing is, like, now that I break it down, stay disciplined in that uncomfortableness to eventually be consistent, and it's gonna pay off, man. It can't not pay off. Anyways, that's gonna be my message for today. I think that kind of gets the gist of it. I hope it all makes sense. I hope you guys can take something away from this if you're watching. And if you are watching, man, I truly appreciate you. This is brand new for me, man. So I guess I'm supposed to say like, comment, subscribe. I honestly would really, really appreciate it. It keeps that momentum going for me. I got a comment on the video yesterday, and like, dude, it's awesome, man. I was getting love from this dude in Brazil. It's fucking great, dude. I appreciate you guys. So like, comment, subscribe, interact with me, man. I'm here to talk, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Again, thanks for spending your time with me, guys. Peace out.